How's everybody doing? My name is Kurt Friedrich, and welcome to episode 43 of TNT Stocks. Today's actual date is February 22nd of 2026. The simulated date is July 3rd of 2028. And since our last episode, if you can't tell from the thumbnail, everything's been moving in the upward direction. Records have been smashed, milestones have been met. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the criteria and disclaimer, and then let's unpack all the good stuff that we've seen since the last episode. All right, so criteria, we do one video per week. We'll simulate 1 month. I'll create videos when available at home, not while traveling on Army Reserve duty or vacations. Any week with a missed video will not be considered a simulated month. Each video will simulate loading $100 per month to the TNT Stocks account. All stocks bought in the simulation are actual companies with their actual end-of-week closing stock prices. Stocks can be sold between episodes at certain prices per personal strategies. This month we bought 3 stocks at the price range of $5 to $100, spending capped at $130. So let us see what $100 per month will look like over time. Disclaimer, these videos are for entertainment purposes only. I'm not qualified or certified to give professional investment advice. Day trading has high risks involved. Any gain or loss is at a personal risk. Past performances do not guarantee success in future stock purchases. It is highly recommended that you do your own due diligence when it comes to deciding which stock you will purchase. All right, let's get into it. All right, so as always, I mentioned I split our portfolio line items up into 2 different slides because we have so many different line items that if I condensed them all in one slide with the legend, I feel like it's going to be small on your screen and blurry depending on what type of monitor, laptop, or if you're on your phone, whatever, however you are viewing these videos. So I kind of split it up to help make things a little bit larger and help make you able to see any specific line items that you're wanting to pick out. All right, so with that being said, we got a lot going on here. We'll start with the top. Of course, AGL is still our eyesore of our portfolio. Per an old strategy, we did very poorly with AGL. The platform I use, if you buy under $2, which I think is considered a penny stock, they charge you 10%. I don't know about selling under $2 because I haven't sold anything with them under $2. But just staying true to that, we're not letting AGL go until it either raises above $2 or something else unpredictable happens with AGL, like they just go away or whatever for underperforming. So it continues to be the eyesore, and I don't like seeing it because I don't like seeing our oldest line item being our highest money loser. But nonetheless, it did come up a little bit. The previous episode, I talked about how they were at their all-time lows. They were down in the 32-cent range. It did come up to 44 cents per share. So at least some movement in the right direction. But I mean, when you talk about 8 cents per 20 shares, public math, that's what, $1.60 total. So it's not really helping with the overall gain loss number that we want to see. So, but moving on. So BTSG has now claimed its position as the top money maker. If we were to sold it on Friday at closing, we would have had a gain of $84.46, and right now it's currently at 105% gain over what we purchased it at. So again, if you bought BTSG back in July like we did in our portfolio, I hope you are still holding on to it. You're looking at a pretty decent increase with BTSG. Moving down, FYBR. So a few weeks ago, they merged, I think, with Verizon. So basically, their company went away, and what we have as closing price is what they sold at. So basically, that's just what we have with FYBR. There was no other real reason why I released them from our portfolio other than the company sold out to another company. So basically, we sold 3 shares at $38.49, basically making about $2.50 off of it. BKD. So in the previous episode, that was our top money maker. BKD took a pretty big dive since the last episode. And with this line item, we did end up letting it go. So we sold this line item at 11 shares at $15.09 with an income or gain of about $65. Um, and you'll see if my cursor is picking up on your screen, there's another line item we have of BKD. This one right now, I'm going to hold on to it mainly because what we paid for it and what it's gone down to. It hasn't hit one of my other selling criteria, but this one did meet one of my selling criteria. And just as note, when I sold this one in like the middle of the week, it was at 1509. Closing on Friday, it came down to 1490. So um, I think we're going to hold on to this line item a little bit longer and see if it does rebound. If not, then yeah, we'll let it go. But uh, interesting note to say that one line item, BKD, that was our top money maker an episode ago, has now sold. But I keep talking about it in these videos. It's just a matter of time before some of these high dollar line items do sell. And when they do, we hope to cash in on it. So, and actually, as I'm speaking, I noticed an error that I have made. And so I need to do an on-the-spot correction. BTSG is not our top money maker. That belongs to SHIP, Synergy Maritime Holding Corporation. So I'll make sure to update that on the next video. You see, it has gone up to being $100 basically is in our portfolio. So that will be our top money maker actually in our books. That'll be our top money maker for our portfolio. So if you purchase or SHIP back in December, same thing with BTSG. Hopefully you are seeing the benefits of that. So we've had this stock for a little over 2 months, and not bad off of one line item for 2 months. So pretty cool to see. Not a whole lot to talk about on this slide. I'll just say that HHC and SBLK, these two line items are ones that we purchased at pretty much our highest capital spending amount. When we purchased I can't remember the name of there was one company we purchased and they just tanked right after we bought it. I think it was BTU, but they pretty much tanked right after. HCC struggling, down 5%, so not too bad. But SBLK up 10%, so that's pretty cool to see. I think with the way SBLK is performing, it would cover what we lost with the other company and HCC if we were to have to let HCC go. But let's hope HCC continues to hang in there. Excuse me. I am kind of watching these closely because, again, this was the most money we spent on any particular line items. Excuse me. Again, most money we spent on any particular line item, so I'm really interested to see how they perform as time goes. But moving down, so again, in the criteria, I spoke on how we capped at $130. So what we purchased for this week is EDRY Euro Dry Limited, 7 shares at $18.50. MUR Murphy Oil Company Corporation, 3 shares at $33.73. And NMM Navius Maritime Partners LP, 1 share at $68.26. So with all that, we had 188 shares in our line items. And if we had sold everything at closing on Friday, we would have had almost $600, just shy, right at $595, which we'll talk about in our next slide. So, milestone here, $500 milestone here, destroyed. And just look at how our over-under has climbed over the last several episodes. Looking at my notes here, back in March, we were down to $80, and now we're up to $600. So, again, I was away. So, in real time, I was away for about a month. We didn't do any episodes, so that kind of throws it off a little bit. But nonetheless, uh, per the criteria, it is what it is. Uh, we do one video per week, and each video simulates 1 month. So it is what it is. We've gone basically up uh, over $500 in our over/under uh, in the last 4 episodes. So really cool to see this milestone, $500 milestone, just get destroyed. The next milestone is going to be 1,000. So going to be a little bit harder to get to that one. And of course, if we sold some of those high dollar line items, that will bring this number down. But either way, seeing it grow and seeing it move in the right direction is always cool to see. In our income, of course, this one, as the thumbnail indicated, broke a milestone on this one as well. Broke the $100 milestone, and previous high was about $80 or so. So really cool to see this milestone, or for us to get back over $100 in our income slide. Really shows that, again, that our portfolio is moving in the right direction, and as we are selling some of these stocks, that we're starting to gain the benefits of it. So that over under kind of drives this slide, and I think you see how it's been trending in the upward direction over the last several episodes. So really cool to see. And then, of course, when we sell any line items that have a positive uh, gain loss, or have a positive gain, we take home half of it. So I think it was about a little over $60 that was the income, and so taking home half of it, we increased our take home from 275 to 310. So real cool to see this move in the right direction. Kind of looking at historical trends, it's kind of another big jump, but I guess when you look at the last several episodes here, it's really not that big of a jump. We've had a big jump, or about the same size jump, stayed still a month, another decent size, same size jump, stayed still, another size jump. So again, the over under slide drives the income slide, which also drives the take home slide. So again, as we are beginning to sell some of these stocks that have a gain to them, we're finally being able to see money we're taking home. So, and just a side note, I mean, if you kind of looking at some other numbers here from my notes, we're at 310. June of last year was at 130. So that's nearly a $200 increase. June of the previous year was at $20, and then prior to that was at 83 cents. So you can see now that our take home is starting to, the curve, so to speak, is starting to increase. Here's our invested slide. Basically what this is if you take all these shares that we have in our portfolio and at their purchasing price, that's what this represents. And basically we went from about $3,400 up to about $3,500. This slide should typically always be trending in the upward direction as we increase our portfolio and increase the number of shares that we have. Of course, we don't want it to trend rapidly in the upward direction because we want to buy low and sell high, which is kind of indicated with this slide. So this is our total amount, basically the opposite. If you took all the shares in our portfolio and what they are, the closing cost at Friday, what that number is, that's how we generate this slide. You do see that it's got a little bit tick in the upward direction, which is what we want to see. I do want to see a curve in the upward direction. I've been talking about it for many episodes, just not seeing it. It still stays pretty linear. Um, Maybe eventually we'll start seeing it happening when our numbers really begin to increase. But either way, again, this one should always be moving in the upward direction. If it ever moves in the lower direction, that means there's something really wrong with our portfolio and probably something really wrong with the market. Probably a big sell and probably a big crash going on. So let's hope that doesn't happen, and let's hope that this always moves in the upward direction for as long as I'm doing these videos, which I plan on going for about 30 years out, and then probably just going to restart the whole process. All right, here's our combined slide. Basically, this is just our over/under income and take-home kind of all together. Again, they all kind of, the over/under drives the income line, our graph, which drives the take-home graph. So that's why I kind of combine all these together. And you see how they have all been moving in the right direction over the past several episodes. So really cool to see. And again, not again, but our second combined slide of our invested in total. And you see here where, yeah, they pretty much should be running parallel, but start getting some separation, which we are seeing. Expected to see a little bit more separation, but maybe as we continue to grow that over/under, that separation will continue to increase. So time will tell. And now, after we remove the line items that we sold, here's our portfolio altogether. You see we have a total of 174 shares. And if we sold everything on Monday morning, we would have an overall take-home or an increase of our take-home of $528. Our take-home would be $4,100, but it would be, $500 more than what we start off with, which, quick math, that's over a 10% increase. That is, I don't really know about what we should be looking at, but my personal opinion, I think that is exceptionally good. I think that is far beyond what I was expecting. So that's pretty cool to see, and I hope strategy I've been using has been working. So if you've been following along with these episodes, I hope you are kind of seeing how this process is working, and I hope that you are seeing some of these line items that are these companies that I've been talking about in these videos, and hopefully you are benefiting from some of these companies that I've been sharing in these videos. So with that being said, good stock hunting. Don't forget to comment, rate, share, and subscribe. And until the next video, take it easy.